you to keep in mind that we are very well behaved. We follow the rules, and we definitely are nonviolent and non-confrontational. If anyone has a different opinion, as long as they don't disrupt our purpose, that's fine. They can disagree. And your assignments are multiple. Besides listening to the people who are going to make some comments, and I hope there are more of our officials coming, you also can be contacting all of your congresspeople. So we have a sign right there if you want to check it out later that has the official Twitter handles for our senators, all of our congresspeople, and 2 more people in Congress who are chairs of committees. I should call your attention to Adam Schiff, who is the chair of a committee. He has a special connection with us because he was born and raised in his early years in Framingham. So not only are we really proud, yes, applause is good. In fact, applause and cheering at any time is reasonably good. But not only are we proud of him because he's sort of a native son, but we're really proud of the work that he's doing in Washington. So we want you to tweet, to use Facebook, or to send emails to your friends. And please use the hashtag release the report. That will allow all the organizations that are sponsoring this rally to see how many people were involved. They know that there are 300 or 400 definite rallies and maybe as many as 1,000 today. The other hashtags that you might try are make it public, not above the law, no cover-up, stop the whitewash, and any other ones you want to invent. But release the report is the key one that will get this all into the trending numbers. I want to thank the sponsors. And there are many organizations. This is not just a couple of us in Framingham. We have Move On, Common Cause, Indivisible, Public Citizen, Stand Up America, March for Truth, Working Families Party. I'm not going to read them all. Democracy for America, Women's March. Let's see, Progressive Democrats of America. And if the wind lets me, I'll turn the page. Need to Impeach. Color of Change. Yeah, you like that one. Color of Change. Bend the Arc. Sierra Club, Greenpeace, and many, SEIU. So many more. So if you talk to anyone who's involved in any of those groups, please say thank you. They're going to have a lot more rallies going all over the country. If you take any pictures today, please post them. Use the Release the Report hashtag. And if you can't do that, or if you don't do the Facebook and other things, share any videos and photos to photos@moveon.org. And do we have any of our legislators here yet? No. All right. Then I'm going to get started with some of our talking points. So we are here today because we believe in the rule of law, and we have a president who doesn't. We are here today to say enough is enough. We stand with Americans across the country to confront President Trump and Attorney General Barr and their efforts to hide the findings of the Meuller investigation from the public. We are here to stand up to Donald Trump. From California to New York, from Oklahoma to Alaska, Americans are joining in similar protests like this one to stand up for the rule of law and for transparency in our democracy. We are proud to be part of this historic and important effort. We are the people. We, the people, are the ultimate power in our democracy. I see that on some of the signs. Donald Trump can't take that away from us no matter how hard he tries. It will be we, the people, who hold him accountable for his abuses of power and corruption. It is we, the people, that must stand up to his latest attempt to protect himself, his family, and his indicted associates from being held accountable. Larry, do you want to, we'll give someone else a turn.
Mueller's investigators say Attorney Barr's summary misrepresents their findings and that the full report is more troubling for Trump. This is a cover-up. We're taking action across the country today to demand Mueller report and the underlying evidence be made public. On Tuesday, Trump's hand-picked Attorney General missed the deadline set by Congress to release a full report. Today, April 4th, we're launching a national day of action to demand Barr release the report. We deserve a full report, and the congressional leaders of the United States to expect it now. The only reason not to release a full report is to conceal wrongdoing by Donald Trump. That's why it's so concerning that Barr will only agree to release a report with huge redacted sections. That's unacceptable. We already know from Trump's own Attorney General that the full report contains evidence of obstruction of justice. It will also likely address some of the serious remaining questions about collusions, such as the secret real estate deal Trump was pursuing with the Kremlin during 2016 campaign. The Trump administration must release a full report now. Today, no summaries, no cliff notes, the full report and the underlying evidence. The public has the right to this report and to hear from Meuller, Barr, and other public hearings.
I saw some photos from some rallies that had already started, and there are people demonstrating holding cliff notes. Okay. The Meuller investigation has resulted in 37 indictments or guilty pleas and 5 prison sentences. Any attempt by the Trump administration or his allies in Congress to hide the findings of this investigation from the public is unacceptable and must be stopped. Barr owes it to the American people to answer what happened in the 2016 election and tell us more about the man who could be re-elected to office in 2020. That should get you interested in this. Americans across backgrounds and political beliefs agree the report must be made public. 9 in 10 Americans want Mueller's report to be public, including a whopping 80% in Trump's own party. And that's according to a CNN poll that was released March 20th. Our elected officials must take action to make the report public. Barr is an unreliable source who was appointed by Trump as Attorney General because of his expansive view of executive power and his criticisms of the Mueller investigation. Our members of Congress have subpoenaed the report and must make it public. We also demand that Congress immediately investigate any and all efforts to obstruct justice and abuse power. Congress must uphold its constitutional obligation to do its job and hold power accountable. I have a special treat that just arrived in the mail just before we got here. This is Adam Schiff's testimony, and I think it's pretty compelling. And you have a role. When I point to you or stop, you get to say, it's not okay. Let's practice it. It's not okay. All right, this is Adam Schiff. My colleagues might think it's okay that the Russians offered dirt on the Democratic candidate for president as part of what's described as the Russian government's effort to help the Trump campaign. You might think that's okay.
It's not okay.
My colleagues might think it's okay that when that was offered to the son of the president, who had a pivotal role in the campaign, that the president's son did not call the FBI. He did not adamantly refuse the foreign help. No, instead, that son said he would love the help from the Russians.
It's not okay.
You're doing great. You might think it was okay that he took that meeting. You might think it's okay that Paul Manafort, the campaign chair, someone with great experience running campaigns, also took that meeting. You might think it's okay that the president's son-in-law also took that meeting. You might think it's okay they concealed it from the public. You might think it's okay that their only disappointment after that meeting was that the dirt they received on Hillary Clinton wasn't better. You might think it's okay. I don't.
It's not okay.
You might think it's okay that when it was discovered a year later that they had lied about that meeting and said it was about adoptions, you might think it's okay that the president is reported to have helped dictate that lie. You might think it's okay. I don't.
It's not okay.
You might think it's okay that the campaign chairman of a presidential campaign would offer information about that campaign to a Russian oligarch in exchange for money or debt forgiveness. You might think it's okay. I don't.
It's not okay.
You might think it's okay that the campaign chairman offered campaign polling data, to someone linked to Russian intelligence. I don't think that's okay.
It's not okay.
You might think it's okay that the president himself called on Russia to hack his opponent's emails if they were listening. You might think it's okay that later that day, the Russians, in fact, attempted to hack a server affiliated with that campaign. I don't think that's okay.
It's not okay.
Oh, you're really on a roll here. Now, if I can only turn the page. This is actually Adam Schiff's testimony, so you can see just how powerful it was. You might think it's okay that the president's son-in-law sought to establish a secret back channel of communication with Russians through a Russian diplomatic facility. I don't think that's okay.
It's not okay.
You might think it's okay that an associate of the president made direct contact with the GRU through Guccifer 2.0 and WikiLeaks. That is considered a hostile intelligence agency. You might think it's okay that a senior campaign official was instructed to reach that associate and find out what that hostile intelligence agency had to say in terms of dirt on its opponent.
It's not okay.
There's a lot of stuff in his testimony. You might think it's okay that the National Security Advisor designate secretly conferred with a Russian ambassador about undermining U.S. sanctions. And you might think it's okay he lied about it to the FBI.
It's not okay.
You might say it's all okay. You might say that's just what you need to do to win. I don't think it's okay. I think it's immoral. I think it's unethical. I think it's unpatriotic, and yes, I think it's corrupt and evidence of collusion.
It's not okay.
Right, and I like that we have a not okay sign there. Now, I have always said that whether this amounts to proof of conspiracy was another matter. Whether the special counsel could prove beyond a reasonable doubt that proof of that crime was up to the special counsel, and that I would accept his decision, I do. He's a good and honorable man, and he's a good prosecutor. But I do not think that conduct, criminal or not, is okay. And the day we do think that's okay is the day we will look back and say, that's the day America lost its way.
It's not okay.
And I'll tell you one more thing that's proposed of this hearing today. I don't think it's okay that during a presidential campaign, Mr. Trump sought the Kremlin's help to consummate a real estate deal in Moscow that would make him a fortune. According to the special counsel, hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think it's okay he concealed it from the public. I don't think it's okay he advocated a few and more favorable policies toward the Russians, even as he was seeking the Russians' help, the Kremlin's help, to make money. And you say,
It's not okay.
I don't think it's okay that his attorney lied to our committee. There's a different word for that than collusion. It's called compromise.
It's not okay.
Is it okay?
It's not okay.
Okay. So now that we know all that isn't okay, the microphone is open to anyone who has something they would like to say to this friendly group. If you want to just talk about how you're feeling, this is kind of like a support group. It's not just a rally. And I'm not kidding. Someone said, why are you having a rally? What will it accomplish? And I said, because there's a whole group of us together who feel the same way. And it's really good to know that other people are equally concerned with what's going on. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Linda Dumbrack. I just wanted to let you know I tweeted a picture about 5 minutes ago, already 4 retweets, 14 likes. People are really on this hashtag, so get on it if you're on Twitter.
Okay, and if you don't come up here, you might have to hear from me some more. So maybe that'll motivate you. And the other thing we can do is if you sometimes last time we did this, when it was the Protect Meuller rally, it took a little while before someone said, oh, I'll speak. And there were some really profound things. So I'm stalling so that you think about it and decide that you might want to say something. All right, I have another audience participation one for you, okay? I have a line for you. It's stand up, fight back. Can you try it? Stand up, fight back. Okay, so when I say a line, you say that, all right? When democracy is under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. When our justice system is under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. When transparency is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the rule of law is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the Constitution is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When election security is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the balance of powers is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When civil rights is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
Now, see if you know the answer to this. Who is above the law? Nobody's above the law. Is Trump above the law? Nobody's above the law. Is Bill Barr above the law? Nobody's above the law. Oh, you're really good. Okay. Has anyone thought about something you might want to say? Okay. We have a speaker.
Hi, my name is Randy Davinsky from Natick.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, that's better. All right. I just wanted to say that right now, Barr is withholding this information. There's no justification for it. Washington Post and New York Times are reporting that the people involved in making the Meuller report had made their own summary about what was in the report, and he withheld it, threw it away, and wrote his own. There's only one reason to do that. It's a cover-up. It's a chance. It's an attempt to put this wrong, false narrative in the public's mind, and so that when the report finally comes to light of day, and one day it will, that it's already too late, and then the public has moved on, and we can't allow that to happen. This week, the Democrats in Congress have voted to subpoena Barr to get the report, except that they're not sending the subpoena out because they want to give him time to change his mind, and that's so one thing that we could do right now, and somebody that might actually listen to us are the Democrats in Congress. So I urge that we contact our members and anyone else. I believe it's Nadler.
All right. Nadler's official Twitter handler, he's the chair of the committee that's issuing subpoenas, is on that yellow part of the poster. Your congressperson for this immediate area is Congresswoman Clark. It's on there. Or you can tweet, email, call, or text, all of them. So go for it.
And just the final thing on that is that we want them to issue that subpoena because that's the only thing that Barr is going to recognize. And then there may be a crisis if he refuses to follow the law. And we're going to need to be back here again if that happens.
All right, and so we want to spare us having another rally. So let's get that report. Okay, anybody else? Come on up. See, it takes a little while.
I am David Aronson from Holliston. Oh, okay. No, I was just thinking that up till about a week ago, our fine president has said that the Meuller report should be released, that he had nothing to hide. So I think he just needs to be reminded, because he has a little problem with memory, that he's the one that's been pushing to have this released. He was very clear about it. So we should just encourage him to get back on that side of his position. So that's all.
I was tempted to bring oranges today, except I was running low on them. I gather from the laughing that you heard him say that he was interested in the oranges that brought us the Meuller report. I think he explained them at the beginning because I think it was apparent he didn't know what oranges meant.
Hi, I'm Elaine Barnard Goldstein. I wasn't going to speak because I'm not from Framingham, but since others have spoken who aren't, I'm from Sudbury, Massachusetts, and I think this is great, and I thank Norma and everybody else who put work into it. Yay! And I'd like to point out that I took a glance at the map from Move On, I believe it was, and they have a big red dot wherever there is a rally anywhere in the United States. The entire East Coast is red, as well as many places up toward the Mississippi, most of the West Coast, and various other dots. So we have a lot of company.
Anyone have any other ideas of what we can do besides annoying the heck out of our Congress people? So this looks like a pretty white, pretty mature crowd. I fit that demographic. I'm guessing there aren't a lot of huge rap fans here, so I don't know if you paid much attention to the recent death of rapper Nipsey Hussle from South LA. And he's done a lot of great things for his community. It's a tragic loss. I looked him up and I read that he had a great hit that is called FTD. And I won't say anything, FDT, where DT stands for Donald Trump. So if you just Google Nipsey Hussle FDT, you may get a whole new appreciation for rap. I thought it was terrific.
You know, I'm old enough to remember what H2O meant back, a while back. The last time President of the United States tried to destroy our Constitution, the Republicans in both the Senate and in the Supreme Court had the moral gumption to stand up and bring the man down. So what we need now is the same kind of moral fiber in the Republican Party that seems to have gotten lost somewhere. So I ask you all, if you have friends that are in that party that starts with an R, ask them about their morals. Because I've heard all kinds of things about Hillary and Obama and lots of other people, but when it comes right down to it, we're signing off on an attack on our country and on our Constitution. So we need to remind our folks that party comes after country. Thank you.
I'm going to read some signs. I have "Stop Enabling the Psychopath." Republicans, this means you. I have "Release the report now," and the poor report is behind bars, literally. Okay. I have "Many, no one is above the law. Stop barring the Meuller report." Demagogues do not belong in the White House. Bar the AG's cover-up. We have lots of release full report. We have Trump is not above the law. And if you have another one that I can't see, it's not a government, it's a crime syndicate. How's that? So if you can't see all the signs, oh, we've got cut the BS, release the Meuller report. All right. So we've got plenty of signs here. Take a look at each other's. The other thing I will suggest, since if we don't have someone else who wants to speak, okay, why don't we go along the curb here and just wave to some of the traffic if you have a few more minutes to stay and do that. And thank you very much for coming, and it doesn't stop here. Remember, going home and doing nothing, it's not okay. Got it? Okay, thank you.